All right, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or wherever you are, whoever you are. Kenneth Price on Sunday, December 3rd for our Psychiatric Sobriety Sunday morning Zoom call. I'm here with Jody, and I'm here with Marcy. And for the next hour, we're going to discuss powerful topics that surround the narratives of mental illness. We're going to back ourselves out of those narratives. We're just going to go through and express, share, discuss whatever needs to be aired for our emergence from our stories. And in this particular ministry, our stories contain the narratives of mental illness. And for most of us, they contain the narratives of pharmacology. The reason I'm hosting these Zoom calls once a week, and the reason I started this ministry, is I was graced by God, powers that be, Holy Spirit, Jesus, to have emerged from what I call the psychiatric parable. I was in the mental health system for 25 years, and by the time I was in my late 40s, I was just on mountains and mountains of pills that may have helped me in the beginning, but 25 years later, they were stunting my growth. They were making me ill, and I had to get off everything. And it was by the grace of God that I was able to emerge and pick up, how do I want to put this? I emerged from all that through the grace of God. How can I not want to share this with others? It's not like I emerged. I am emerging every single day, and that's what we do in the Zoom calls once a week. We emerge together. All right, so it's being recorded to YouTube for an hour, and it's a ministry. Like I said, I try to combat my mental illnesses, the secular approach, and that just made me sicker. I was trying to rearrange the deck chairs in this Titanic. I got on my knees. I said some powerful prayers that were earnest because I was desperate. And spirit powers that be sent in the Course in Miracles, sent in teachers, and it was just one synchronicity after another, and it hasn't stopped. Tools and resources that have arrived that have shown me a more powerful truth than the narrative of mental illness. And that more powerful truth is who I am before the mental illness stories. And by anchoring that once a week here, we all emerge together. We can't do this alone. I couldn't do it alone. Since I use the word psychiatry and since I use the word pharmaceuticals, I include disclosures because I'm posting these on YouTube. We are not judging psychiatry. We are not judging pharmaceuticals, and we are not doctors, and we're not therapists. Okay, so we don't want anybody to watch these videos and believe we have a formula for getting off pills. What we have are testimonies of how we got off our pills, how we are getting off our pills, how and we broadcast these because it's a message whose time has come, and we can do it now. Someone like me who doesn't have any credentials, but who has a testimony, can just go on YouTube and share it with others. I have to share this. The only way I can keep this miracle is by sharing it and extending it. So that's the purpose of this ministry. It's not so I become well known or become somebody. Anyway, I start each Zoom call off with the healer's prayer, which comes from the Course in Miracles, which goes like this. We are here only to be truly helpful, and we are here to represent him or her who sent us. We do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he or she who sent us will direct us. We are content to be wherever he or she wishes, knowing he or she goes there with us, and we will be healed as we let him or her teach us how to heal. Okay, what's going on with everyone? If no one talks, I'll talk again because boy, I've got stuff coming up, good stuff. But I'm in the middle of my I'll just say, let me just say this much. I'm cohabitating with someone, and I'm watching the projections, and I'm watching the fears. Watching if I stray back into my dream character, I will become the fears and I will become the projections. I am walking the tightrope right now. Get back off the movie screen and watch it, Kenneth. I can do that now that I have my feelings back, and my feelings are coming back. when I start to feel that twinge of anxiety, that shadow begin to say, I'm on the screen again. So Jody's smiling, so maybe she wants to go next.
I'm so fascinated by this highly individualized curriculum that we're each given. It's what you're going through is so perfect for you. What I'm going through is so perfect for me. And what Marcy is going through is so perfect for her. I'm fascinated by that.
It's almost too good to be true, Jody. You know, the paradigm of my conditioning had rules and formulas. I mean, my whole education was outlines, formulas, rules. Now, we do have rules for decision, but the rules are to bring us back to our internal guidance system. And we don't know what that's going to look like. This is a whole new way of living. And this new way of living does not contain anxiety. It does not, well, it is breaking up the anxiety. It's breaking up the fear. I didn't know I could live this way. But, you know, like Helen Schuckman and Bill Thetford, they got on their knees and they made that prayer. It's got to be. All right, maybe there is something I need to bring up. Then, guess what Kenneth did? Kenneth made an amends today. Because then Kenneth turned around and was judging people who were asleep. How common is that? I had to go to the man I'm cohabitating with and said, I was wrong, buddy. I judged it and I swallowed it. I apologized and I told him I was wrong. And I was. Because I don't know. I'm a little bit too big for my britches on this end. Course in Miracles doesn't talk about apologies, but this is the psychiatric sobriety where we go back to the 12 steps. And I like a good old fundamental, old-fashioned I was wrong. Feels good. You know what's coming up for me is abandonment. Let myself get abandonment. Oh, this is the core. This is the core of the onion. Now, where am I putting my faith? You know, if I'm putting my faith in God and Jesus, then there can't be abandonments. That's ridiculous. Okay, I have seen this so many times before. Now I've anchored in a faith that Spirit said, "You're going to try one. I want to give you another chance, kiddo. Try this cohabitation. Now this time, I want you to watch it." Because like I was telling Jody before the call started, my responsibility, we're all Course in Miracles students here. You know, we're either following David Hoffmeister, Calico Hickey, Keith Kavanaugh, Kenneth Wapnick. All of them are giving us pointers, tools to refine how we notice when the feelings come up. You know, in the past, the feelings were something's chemical imbalance. They need to be fixed with pills. No more of that. Okay, the feelings come up. And okay, what am I thinking and believing? You know, halt. What am I thinking and believing that is out of alignment, incongruent? And in my case, it's that I need refinement on this. So I'm just going to give you the fundamentals. Abandonment. Someone has the power to abandon me. Now it's not. I mean, it can be rather complicated because as a young child, you know, there's energetic imprints, but the Course in Miracles is not inviting us to go back into our childhoods. It's telling us, you know, to go straight to the source and reconnect with that source and unbelieve. It's hard when there's trauma because I still have, you know, energetic, you know, PTSD. It's there. I have it's part of my hairband essay. I'm not going to say we have a cheering team. Marcy's smiling. I'm going to mix, you know, what I realized the Course of Miracles is that Kenneth Wapnick has said, the only way it's going to work is you got to have a relationship with, you know, a loving, they call it Holy Spirit. Some people say it was Jesus. Fine, fine. Those work for you. What works? What loving? Because I had difficult with both Holy Spirit and Jesus. Now I'm making great headways in my relationship with Jesus. Huge headways of forgiveness. Especially since, one of my closest friends is a fundamental, I don't know if fundamental, Pentecostal Lutheran. Her and I have become so close. You know who helped me with this? Calico. I'll tell you why Calico helped me with this. Because she said when she was in hospice, some of the most helpful people were the Christians. Humble pie. Putting fire extinguisher over my victim. I can't do this. This is where I began turning the corner. Keith Kavanaugh explained the mechanics. Yes, you need to look at it, but look at it with Jesus. Look at it, or any loving figure. This is where I got stuck. I was imperfect. I didn't get no such thing as stuck from where we are. Stuck can be a truth. I was trying to fix it at the level of the problem. Einstein said you can't solve a problem at the level of the problem. But without God, without faith, I'll even use the word belief, the secular approach will not work. Calico drilled that in me years ago. She said, and I had a life coach, Holly Hicks Peterson, drilled that in me. Holly Hicks Peterson drilled that in me 15 years ago. She said, unless you've got a higher power, it will not work. So I've been given gifts like hair bands. Found, I was melting down, 2 mornings ago. So I was, on the phone with my mighty companion Laverne in Mexico. And I could feel it in my body. Every fiber of my being was the anxiety, the angst. And as she's, as we're in it, together, because we're joined in it. There on the asphalt was another one. Don't know where they're coming from. Doesn't matter. It's a God sharing team, all of us. Can I talk for 12 minutes? Marcy, how are you? Thank you for Marcy. Thank you for all the support. I read all of your comments.
I've been having the opportunity to go back in the psychiatric sobriety archives, and I've spent this last week. I've experienced problems with my phone, so I haven't been able to make any phone calls or receive any phone calls, or I was going to Jody's Zoom meetings, and my phone kicked me out of the Zoom meeting. So if I get kicked out, it's not me leaving on purpose. Anyway, so it just has given me an opportunity to go through the archives, and it's what you're what you're doing and what you're compiling is giving me so much hope. So that's probably about the only thing that's helped me keep my shit together this week. So thank you.
Marcy, thank you. We've seen the program, you're keeping me sober one more day. To know that this testimony, whatever, this is a benefit to just one other person. That's it.
It's a huge benefit. Huge. I would encourage anyone to just take the time to go back in the archives and really set an intention to listen. And if you do, there's everything that you need is there. It's right there, available, for free. Even when your phone's not working all the way, it's there. So there's something there. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
It's hard for me to go back and view the ones from 2 years ago because I didn't know what I was doing. But we can't let that stop us. I said there's something beginning that I need to share.
You might have felt like you didn't know what you were doing, but I can tell you that there's absolute guidance in every single one of those meetings, even some of them that feel like they're kind of getting a little, rowdy or,
You mean the
whatever.
one with Robert?
There's just guidance there. And sometimes you have to be a little bit patient, but there's so many suggestions and so many offerings, and it's so abundant. And yeah, I mean, maybe you felt a little clunky, but I'm telling you that I can see divine guidance in these meetings, and I can feel it. And that's what's literally gotten me through a week where I couldn't even make a phone call if I needed help. So thank you for that.
Marcy. My trail of breadcrumbs goes back to 1985. I was frightened. I mean, I was terrified. I put on the mask of being this cute young 18-year-old, but I had the emotional development of about a 6 or 7-year-old. And my parents said, "You need to go to college." Well, that was their script. So I said, "All right, God, I'm terrified, but I've got to go to college." And Spirit sent me. I mean, this is how arrested my development was. I was afraid to live in the dorms. I don't want to go any further into my past, but I want to go into the breadcrumbs. Spirit sent me the kindest, most evolved soul to become my roommate. We rented a small little. Spirit opened up a small little apartment, a mile from campus, so I could leave home where there was mayhem and chaos. I needed to be out of that environment. And this man, we were only 18. We lived together for 2 years. I got a foothold to start, my healing, because at home there was probably more wounding than healing. I don't want to judge, and we're not going to go into the story. And as the years went on, this man left, and kind and intuitive and humble and successful according to the world standards. Okay, basically, I became CEOs of different corporations. So I got frightened, scared, insecure, less than, unworthy. But he always kept the door open. He knew who I was underneath, because he's been a satellite watching me descend, into bars and baths and mental hospitals and psych meds and addictions and treatment centers. He's just stayed on the periphery. This is a beautiful story, guys. And I knew he was on the periphery. We're not really spoken, but we both know we're kind of like there. He's off in New Zealand now with his family. I've always been frightened. I said, why can't I reach out to him? Why can't I reach out to him? And I just kept, not yet. Until Home Depot yesterday morning, because he knew my family. He knew the whole story, and not that the stories matter, but he was there. And I left a message at age 56. 30. How many years is that? 35 years later. Saying, buddy, I need a friend. I'm hurting big time. It's the holidays. And can you call me back? I got to shed some man tears. And I said, we've been going through this for 35 years. Are you available? And 5 seconds later, absolutely. It's okay to ask for help. I know how to ask for help today. The hard part, I think, for us in asking for help in the beginning, on my story, is I pick up the phone and I want to start telling people my story. That's hard. It's the best we can. It was the best I could do. I think that's why, Calico would just stop. Stop it. slap, as Mark would say. But no, it's going to have to come from different directions. Some are going to listen and be able to hold the space and see who you are while you're telling your story. Other people are just going to run right in and give you a slap. It's going to look different. You're right, Joey. Highly individualized curriculum. Don't think there's one formula for waking up. This is called it's called a Zen stick. They're hard. I had grievances for years for those Zen sticks. I mean, you can see now. That's why I want to record on YouTube. I'm kind of smiling. It's all right, Kenneth. It's all right. So what I did this morning was I called my friend who's a Pentecostal Lutheran, and so we prayed to Jesus, because I was melting down this morning, hurting big time. When I emerged from as now that this man is becoming an adult, he's getting to look at his past, and some of it ain't too easy to look at. Okay. She picked it up right away, and she started praying we did a prayer to Jesus, and in form it's different from the Course in Miracles. Her Jesus does have a different form than the Course in Miracles Jesus, but that doesn't matter anymore. In adulthood, it's the content of the Jesus, not the form. I got it. See, I can be like Calico. I can take help from the Christians now. With a smile on my face. What I need to let you know is how it makes me feel. See, it's the feeling. That little boy is back. For you two, it'd be little girls. But it's not a Peter Pan type of innocence anymore. We had the innocence as a little child, and then we got thrown out into the storm. Mother had to kick us out of the nest, and a lot of us didn't know how to fly. We went splat. But I'll be goddamned if we didn't pick ourselves up by the bootstraps. Now, I don't use a lot of Course in Miracles language sometimes. I use, from my father's vernacular, pick ourselves up by the bootstraps, dust ourselves off. Do you know that when the wing has been broken and repaired, it's repaired stronger. It's like the one YouTube we did. What is it? Where the Japanese repair the vases with gold.
Oh yeah.
I've never been able to pronounce it because there's voice, there's authorship, there's conviction, and it comes from humility. I don't know any other way that this can actually be taught. I mean, everyone knows my story. I went on a code of Vision Quest, 7 years ago. I just, surrendered the home and began to hold on. Let me make sure that's not my client. Okay. Surrendered my home and just started to do anything. I do anything for healing. Where am I going? I got distracted because I thought my client was calling. I lost my train of thought. Somebody's got to pick up on some of these.
Kenneth, something that you said in your story that I just want to feel into a little bit is you had this friend that you said was kind of in the peripheral, and he knew your family and you had history, but when you were going through your journey, he wasn't necessarily a part of it, but you always knew that he was there. So it's like he wasn't participating in the illusion with you. And then when you to like drop that illusion a little bit, that connection was still there.
This is why the story of Kenneth is coming to the last chapter. I'm healthy body. I'll be around for the 30 years, but the story of Kenneth is coming to the last chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Story of Kenny, and a very good story will play with characters and feed them in, towards the final act. And this man is coming in towards the final act. He was there at the beginning of scene one, and mysteriously returns right before the final.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Marcy. He wouldn't participate in my illusions.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed, excuse me, for me, I've had a trickling of people from my past, and really it's just about forgiveness opportunities for me. And it is a way to look back and take some inventory, because the people that are coming into my awareness come with a past. There's ex-husbands, there's divorce, there's, all these messy relationships that I get to re-experience with forgiveness. And it's just a blessing. And it also gives me an opportunity to really look at my behavior and look at it with Holy Spirit and go, oh my God, I was a crazy bitch.
And
yeah.
Our teacher, I don't know if you're following Calico. I know
Love
Jody
Calico.
is. Yeah. Those words came out of her mouth too.
Mm.
And I said it last week's Zoom call. When someone, and that's when I apologized to Mark, for my foible. I want to hear someone say a good old fashioned confession. Sometimes I screwed up, I made a mistake, and I was wrong. And that brings in Calico. She is talk about guidance. David Hoffmeister called the Course in Miracles book his oracle. He said he would ask a question and just grab the book, and the Holy Spirit would just pop him open to the page, which would have the answer. Well, I think it was three mornings ago, Calico was my oracle, because I was struggling with the story of my parents and my brother. And I pop open, she records about a half hour. I pop her open, and she starts off the Zoom call with the parable of her father. I said, bullseye. I mean, it's bringing into clarity the patterns of the ego. I mean, it's the ego is really quite predictable. It's based on some it's just based on fear, scarcity, and lack, and it just keeps recycling based on this foundation, very predictable patterns. What are the seven deadly? There's seven deadly sins: lust, gluttony, pride. I don't know why I'm getting balloons. I don't know what the seven deadly sins are, but based on that premise of separation, we know what we're going to get. And David Hoffman
was celebrating all those sins with balloons. Woo! Ego, pride, gluttony, yay!
But the beautiful thing about our testimonies is I've said it before. I just keep repeating myself every week. We didn't learn spirituality; we earned it. Thank God. If I hadn't, I don't ever play safe. Go out there and put life to the test. Go out there and get married and then get divorced. Go out there and make money, then go bankrupt. Go out there and, if you're guided to, because we got to see for ourselves. These teachings have got to be used to navigate our way through life. To know this stuff is to know the world doesn't work. We have to know the world doesn't work. So then we can begin to relax and perceive it with a lightheartedness, which I'm going to have to go back and listen to what I just said, because I haven't been lighthearted all week. These teachers, they teach what they need to learn. I had a very, good call with I had a counseling call where I was the client, I was the patient last week, who she said that even one of my teachers, she said his humanity is not gone. It's the message and not the messenger. One of the things I want to, continue to do is to disclose my foibles, and Calico's doing that, and that is why she's so helpful, because if she can do it, I can do it. I don't have an excuse. Yeah, it's difficult sometimes because I can't judge religions, because the Course in Miracles is all or nothing. We're either in spirit or we're in ego, but there is no in between those two. And if I'm going to keep recording these, I'm not getting my chasm for wiggle room is getting a lot smaller. I'm getting squeezed. I can't look for something better. And part of that 7-year vision quest I did was looking for. Fine, everybody has to become a spiritual seeker. That's fine. That was perfect. So I finally, I would go back. I would go to Peru to drink ayahuasca. I drank most of it in California, or I'd go to Utah to sit on the next spiritual, and all that stuff's good. But I kept going back to Portland, Oregon. I told you the story. John would just be sitting there with his arms crossed the kitchen table. Said, "Did you find it yet? Did you find it yet? Did you find it yet?" I mean, he was serious. He kept asking, "What are you looking for?" I was 16 years old, and well, I was 16 when I had friends in Dallas, Texas. So I would go visit them as a teenager. But I remember after I graduated college in 1991, I went out to see them. I wanted to come out to them, and this is another angel story, because as a teenager, they took me in as a teenager, and adopted me. I needed a surrogate family. But I came out to them, and they were Catholic, but the mother was I mean, she was shocked, but she was evolved enough to look for supportive words. But back in 1991. But she did. But she had intuition, and I was sitting on the dock by the lake one afternoon before I was going to fly back to San Diego, and she walked down to the dock and she sat with me and she said, "I hope you find what you're looking for." I just wrote her a holiday card this week. I said, "Yeah, I found it. It's here the whole time." Camel chases the world over for its own scent. But when we go on our Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, I now have solid evidence proof that we don't go alone. There are hairbands that lead back to Kansas. There's no way to explain why I'm still here. other than angelic intervention. And I find that valuable enough to record these on YouTube. Same for Jody. Same for Marcy. You know, I would invite each person to look at their lives and notice that that poem called Footprints in the Sand is not some, you know, nice and trite refrigerator magnet. It's a fundamental truth. When I reached out to Debbie, you know, sometimes it's okay to say, you know, when I first started the 12 steps, you know, I don't know if I want to go into that arena, but I said, I know her well enough. See, I know how I'm not so full of shame as I once was. The hard part about reaching out is when we have so much shame and guilt. And as that begins to break up, which it will, it cannot stand in the light, the fluidity returns, and we know how to ask for what we need. And I knew how to ask Debbie. I said, Debbie, I just need someone to tell me my mother forgives me. That's not Course in Miracles, but the Course in Miracles, like you said, Jody, a highly individualized curriculum. And in that moment, Debbie was connected and guided gave me what I needed to hear, which was that, oh boy, it's more than forgiveness. I got it. I can't fall asleep anymore. It's too painful.
I like how you talked about your friend that was like, did you find it yet? Did you find it yet? You know, I find that when I really look at the things in my life and I look at my intentions behind them, a lot of it is a searching, and the ego's mantra is search and do not find. And so we go on this journey, seeming journey, and we're looking for ourselves. We're looking for love. We sing about love. We have love songs. We talk about love. We talk about God as love. We're talking about ourselves. It's just a return to ourselves. So we can take these journeys, seeming journeys. But really, when you get still and realize that everything that you've been longing for and hurting and missing is right there. It's right there. And sometimes it takes these kinds of groups to kind of get you connected to that. And the more, you know, I'm still going through tapering. And of course, I got guidance to taper further down, and then my phone went out, and then you know, I'm just watching it all, and I'm realizing that what I have been searching for is right here. And right now, the right here is right here in this meeting. It's right here.
Jody and I have had so many calls together where in basically what I'm hearing is we got to be with it. And for us, it can contain a burn. Now again, I have to notice how the planets are aligning, you know, strategically to guide us through the burn. because then the Spirit sent in my friend Dale Crow, who's in, the Ohio prison system for murder. We've become close friends for the last several years because he's one of the deepest Course in Miracles students I've ever met. And he actually, I mean, he's written, I published a 150-page book, based on our correspondence. And he uses the word the burn, calls it the burn. And he's going through more stuff right now, and we're texting back and forth, more burn. I'd like to be complete with the burn. What Jody and I keep talking about, we've said so many times in this call, is to allow the burn. Completely opposite of the old approach. Allopathic model wants to change it. This model is to allow it, let it be. Trust. If it's true, the Course in Miracles said, what does it, help me out? What it says? All things happen according, all things are good except in the ego's judgment, something like that. And I have listened to so many spiritual teachers who have confirmed that, which leaves us with only one alternative, is to allow it. Byron Katie, I think she has a book. Maybe, I don't know if it's the name of the book, but she one of her slogans is, you are already in the perfect relationship. I don't think the ego would like that. So we learned in Al-Anon years ago. Told last Zoom call, people go to Al-Anon to fix their husbands. Something's wrong with their husbands. The sponsor says, sweetie. Very gently, because it has to be conveyed, because if the ego will hear that, the ego will say, there's something wrong with me. No. See, language is so got to be so careful with language when we're communicating this with words still. I posted I was having a rough morning yesterday morning. I'll disclose I need to disclose. Mark and I drink martinis at night, and I enjoy doing that. So it takes me probably a little bit longer to get moving than if we were not drinking martinis at night. I'll share that with you since I've said, no secrets. And so I was taking a walk and was feeling, I don't know if it had to do with the martini from the night before, or if what's going on, but I still have trouble sleeping at night. This stuff comes up at night. So I got out my iPhone and I just said, make a video for the benzo withdrawal recovering community. Very simply can do that now. Just send the message out. Tell everyone they're going to be fine.
Message received. Thank you.
What I got is just look into my face, don't feel damaged. Feel old. My hair. Pull my hair back. Where are you at, Jody?
Peace. I've discovered the secret to inner peace. And it's such a beautiful thing to just be sitting here listening in a state of peace. Listening to you guys talk, listening to the shit show of my ego as you guys are talking, watching all the times I want to jump in because what I have to say is so important. And just watching it all and just being in such peace. Because guess what I have discovered? The secret to inner peace is to realize that I am not the chaos. I am the peace. I am not the chaos. The ego is the chaos. And it's not my ego. It's the ego thought system. And that's not me. And it's so fucking simple. And it's so easy. Once you get it, you get it. And so here I am, fucking getting it. I'm so peaceful right now. And it's not because I don't have chaos. It's not because my life is perfect. It's not because I don't have this, that, and the other thing. It's because I finally recognize who I am. Liberation is amazing. And I had to work to get here. I had to go through my struggle. I had to go through a lot of struggle to get here. Climbing out of the cocoon was fucking hard. And once you realize how simple and how easy it is, the struggle stops. It just stops. It doesn't stop. Let me correct that. What stops is my identification with the struggle. The struggle is still going on. I can see it right now, but I'm not it. I am that which watches. And so once my ego got over itself, because in the beginning that was fucking terrifying, and there was a real fight, there was a struggle, there was the bucking bronco, and I was fucking on it, hanging on for dear life with no goddamn riding lessons, feeling like quite a fucking victim. How many times did I talk about that at 5 o'clock? And so where I am now, on the other side of that, on the other side of that struggle is just the most serene peace. And it's not difficult. It's actually the most simple thing. It's the easiest thing. It's a decision. Am I the space or am I the mess? You choose. It's just a simple choice. The space and the mess are happening at the same time. It's all happening right here, right now. Where am I choosing? What am I choosing for myself right now? I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. I could feel peace instead of this. For the longest time I was saying, guys, it's simple, it's not easy. It's simple, it's not easy. What a crock of shit that is. It's simple and easy. Don't believe me? Do it. Just do it. It's so fucking simple, it's so fucking easy, and the ego would have you believe otherwise. Wake up. It's that simple. Are you the ego or are you the space? Are you the mess or are you the space? Am I the mess or am I the space? Every second, right now, right now, right now, right now, what am I choosing? What am I choosing? What am I choosing? There's nothing to fix, nothing has gone wrong, blah, blah, blah. What am I choosing right now? And there's so much peace there. Doesn't matter what's happening outside of me. It doesn't matter what's happening inside of me. I am the peace.
Good topic for the Zoom call. Choose again.
Choose again. It's that simple. And it's not like choose again, oh, I fucked up, I made a mistake. No, no. You didn't make a mistake. You just choose again. Simple, easy.
This is how I can say yes. And it's not either or, it's and. Because when I was on the phone call with that Christian woman, she used we prayed to that there was an evil adversary called Satan, and our prayers were for Jesus to shine the light on Satan and get rid of Satan. I loved it. I love it now. Because when I hear that, it goes through a little filter computer, and it spits out a punch card that interprets that in a metaphysical language. Unbelieve the ego, unbelieve the ego, unbelieve the ego is what I heard while she was saying, resist Satan, resist Satan. It's a translator. It's a Google translator.
We
Holy
can
Spirit.
translate things any way that we want. Like, to me, what you're saying is that her language
Yeah.
And in form is different than
Yeah.
yours.
But
But
the content's the
intention,
same.
yes, the intention was to join.
Yes.
You know, when I'm around people that are very traditional with their language and with their definitions about Jesus and whatnot, like to me, if I have to imagine a Jesus, it's Bob Marley. Okay, so that's my Jesus. Like I want to hang with him. I want to walk with him. I want to sit on a rock with him. Right. So for me, if I have to visualize, that's what I visualize. But the point that I'm trying to make is it doesn't matter if I'm in a church and I'm talking about a bearded guy that supposedly was sacrificed on a cross, or I'm hanging out on a rock smoking a joint with Bob Marley. The intention of touching into Christ consciousness is the same. That's the meaning behind it. So it doesn't matter how we get there. It's the intention and the meaning and the joining. And that's what I'm hearing from you. I'm hearing that you connected and that the language and the form wasn't important.
And I can do that now.
Mm.
One more thing I have to do right now is I take a quick break. Can you two take the Zoom call? Give me about 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Hey, Jody, I can't see you.
That's because I'm not talking.
Oh, there you are.
Because you're on speaker view.
So I missed you this week
Yeah, I missed you too.
in the Zoom meetings. Yeah, it's been,
And how has that played out for you, missing me?
yeah. So it's interesting. It appears like this would be the time when I need a phone. I have some fires going on that I need to put out, and I need to be able to communicate, And so I've gotten to really look at how I rely on a device and how central I've made that to my growth as far as connecting into meetings, being able to reach out for help, and all of this stuff. And I literally was unable to do anything with my phone this week except through text and then a phone call back, communicate with customer service to my phone company. So after 13 hours on the phone with customer service over the period of a week with no resolution, I was like, this isn't working. And so I just started looking at it from a different level. And I'm not really all the way sure what it represents, but I do know that relying on a device has felt central to me to feel connected. And I think that part of my lesson is going, this is where your real connection is. And I feel like once I get grounded into that, this little device problem will just resolve on its own. But in the meantime, it's fucking terrifying. It's terrifying to know that I have some situations that are really in the world serious and dangerous, and I have no way to call for help or to, but do I really have no way? No, I always have a way. I always have a way. And I think this is just a reminder to me. Yes, you love your meetings, and yes, connecting and joining with people is important. But what's most important is for you to realize that your first connection is to spirit. So I've been a fucking mess, like a mess. And I was like watching it going, wow, this character's really getting unwound. And then I looked at it and I realized that the importance that I've placed on a device, that attention and that importance and that reliance and, going to that constantly, that needs to be redirected for me. So I think that's kind of what's, the learning experience. But like I said, I mean, I was a crazy lady on the phone for 13 hours. Like, what the fuck? I mean, by the 13th hour, I was like, what, I mean, but it's all for my good, you know? And I just had to step back and go, this is happening for a reason. So why don't we just look at it? Okay. And I keep going back to this week, especially. Am I okay in this moment? I am so okay in this moment. This moment is amazing. I have a roof over my head. I have food on my table. I am blessed beyond blessing. I have everything. And I continually overlook that. And all I have to do is draw back to the moment and go, right now, yeah.
That would be the title too. This moment is your miracle. I'm not reinventing the wheel. That's the David Hoffmeister's book, but you got it. You see, Marcy, this is why I host these, because that was your gift to me. I needed to be reminded of that.
Am I okay
in this moment?
In this moment, absolutely. I am fucking awesome. Excuse my mouth, but it's been a week. Yeah.
Would it be okay with you if we ended on that note? Because I think that sums it up. We go through metaphysics, we talk about shadow, we talk about all this stuff, but you're right. Are we okay in this moment?
Oh, yeah.
You're right, Jody. It is simple and easy, because the answer has to be yes. This is Kenneth Price for Sunday, December 3rd. I've been here with Jody and I've been here with Marcy. And conversations went in many different directions. And it's a beautiful thing that we're all getting to do together. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave your comments below and join us on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And check out the website. So God bless, and may the force be with you. Bye.